My beloved child, stop it all right now. I need all of your focus. This isn't a proposal. This is an interruption from God. What follows will address what has been bothering you, reveal what has been concealed from you, and let go of what has been awaiting you. This is an urgent matter. Now, I'll tell you everything. I've seen you weep for clarification, plead for answers, and bear unseen suffering. And now that heaven has made room for me to talk to you personally, no delay, no interruptions. Don't scroll, don't stop, don't click away. You can't survive without this word. It contains revelation, teaching, healing, and correction. What I am releasing in the last seconds will be the key that unlocks it all, so watch it through to the end. This goes beyond a simple video. This is your divinely appointed moment. I was waiting for this. Now, you can't afford to miss it. Lean in and quiet your heart, my little kid. This goes beyond a simple prod or hushed word of support. There's urgency in every word of this supernatural summons, an echo from eternity crashing into your timeline. I've been holding this moment in my hand, holding out, waiting for a slight quieting of the environment around you, waiting until revelation was made possible by the pain in your spirit. Today, I will not speak in a cryptic manner. Not that I'm burying meaning between lines or masking my voice in symbols. Because what I have to say cannot wait another moment, I am drawing back the veil with the weight of my presence. This declaration has made heaven pause. Angels don't say anything. There is a pause in the wind. The sky has sagged downward. It is important for you to understand that what I am about to divulge is not a recommendation or a kind word of advice to keep hidden. This is a moment of spiritual transformation. This is me putting a line in the sand of your path and declaring, you will never walk blind again after this. I am not whispering only to reassure you. I'm waking you up by whispering. The urgency in my tone stems from the fact that what I have to say now has the ability to shatter years of misunderstanding, silence, postponement, and the subtle lies that have ensnared your identity like shackles posing as the truth. I'm sure you've been feeling this. Your spirit's tight grip that prevents you from sleeping, the sacred pain in your chest that comes up during calm times. It wasn't nervousness, that was me. My voice was beckoning to the more profound aspects of you that religion was unable to access. It was a horrible experience. Fear sought to bury it. During breaks in my dreams, I have been whispering, at times, when you are out of breath and unsure of why. I have been gently, persistently, and dutifully hammering my truth against the walls of your mind until you were at last prepared to pause your running and pay attention. I won't talk in bits and pieces now that I have your focus. You're supposed to solve the puzzle on your own, and I won't leave you to piece it together. Not at all, kid. I'm revealing everything to you. Now is not the time for riddles. No. I'm not hiding. I am not aloof. I'm not going to wait for you to figure things out. Everything that has been burning in my heart for you since before you took your first breath is here, fully, fiercely, and gently. This is not merely an informational revelation. It has to do with repair. Identity is at issue. It's about restoring the order that the enemy attempted to destroy. It is a matter of verifying what your soul has long suspected, that I've always been close by, that my plans have always been in place, and that everything is going to change soon. For this is not a lighthearted message. Your commissioning is this. This is the key to unlocking it. The reveal I have been preparing since the Earth's foundations is just getting started. Now pay attention, because what follows will not only make your day, it'll alter your fate. Now let me make amends in your heart, my darling, something that has been gnawing at you like a gradual pain behind your grins, your everyday movements, and your tired affirmations. In the dark, you've questioned me more than you've ever dared to say. In the light, they've been murmured into weeping pillows. They've been like silent thunder in your chest. Is that you, Gun? What's causing the pain? Nevertheless, I miss you. Have you forgotten your pledge? As a toddler whose hands remained open long after others had closed theirs, and as a soldier who remained at their post far longer than anticipated, you asked, not as a skeptic. I would also like you to hear this. Hear it. Every word was captured on tape. There was not a single word lost in the wind. Not a single syllable escaped detection. There was not a single instance where your lips quivered while you asked inquiries you were too exhausted to pose. They didn't throw any of those out. I took the time to listen to you, the creator of eternity and the God of galaxies. The sound of your sobs did not return to nothingness. They became part of my heart. You weren't ignored by me. I engraved you. My dear child, if this message touched your spirit today, click the super thanks button to show your faith and gratitude. Your super thanks is more than just a gift. It is a declaration that you trust in my provision and that you will help spread my word to those who are lost and searching. You see, I'm not the type of person who only listens when it suits them, my child. The crowd clapping solely when your faith is loud is not me. When you are at your weakest, I am the Father who leans in. I approach when others retreat. I paid attention to the significance of what you said as well as the words themselves. I heard what you couldn't express. I could feel the weight of why you were helping me every time. I trusted you despite knowing how painful it was to be tied inside of you for so long. My quiet has been interpreted as absence by you. Oh, if only you knew how close I've come. Heaven has echoed your name. If only you could hear it. Not with sympathy, but with authority. Your struggle did not end in victory for the angels. They paid respect to it. 1,000 voices singing from the top of the mountain could not compete with your faith in the midst of chaos. You didn't require flawless language. You had to be there, and you've been at mine forever. I want you to know that I was sitting on the floor next to you when you felt like your prayers were in vain. Let me respond to you right away, without any hesitation, evasion, or ethereal symbolism. The question was, do you hear me? The first time I heard you, I add, why does it still hurt? Was your question. And I say, because I'm still healing what was never meant to break you, but has been shaping you. Your question was, did I miss you? No, child. Even through the fog, I've been walking with you. And the question that you were nearly too scared to ask, the most profound of all. Do you not remember me? Not at all. Not even for a split second. I have your name inscribed on the palm of my hand, engraved into my very existence. Not only do I recall the mountain moments, but I also recall the nights you lived off of nothing but brokenness and breath. Although you were afraid your inquiries would disqualify you, they did not. I was drawn in by them. You didn't use your doubt to push me away. I was drawn in by your candor. I am no longer only responding to you in a comfortable manner. In response, I'm moving. The answers are now coming in like lightning after feeling delayed, not creeping, not slithering, but roaring through the once quiet clouds. I am not only replying, I am disclosing. And you won't even realize how much it hurt until I tell you what I'll divulge next. Loved one, let's explore further. You were actually moving forward because of the questions you believed were preventing you from doing so. They cleared the way, they loosened the earth, they instilled in you the will to seek truth beyond shallow assurances. Your pain molded your ability. I didn't respond right away for that reason. You weren't being ignored. I was protecting you. Before it becomes another burden, good news must be shared. Until I could pour it without crushing you, I refrained. And now, my child, your soul has created enough room to accept. I'm responding now with elevation as well as explanation. Unanswered queries did not negate your fate. They had it ready. And for that reason, you're not just going to receive replies, you're going to be one soon. Others have called out for clarity, and you will bring it with you, and your tears, not textbooks, will be the source. It won't come from striving, but from your resignation. So dear, get some rest. You were successful with the questions. You are what they made you, and I am the God who caused all of the harm. I need you to sense this, kid. Feel it in your soul's deepest recesses, not just hear it. I didn't go. Suddenly, my quiet was not a sign of desertion. It was alignment. At times when it seemed like the heavens were locked, you let out a cry when the sky seemed immobile and icy, when my voice seemed distant. However, I was present even when your prayers floated off like paper boats on choppy seas. I wasn't hovering over the clouds, not knowing what to do. I wasn't disoriented, distracted, or uninterested. My investment was in it. I was enthroned in your quiet, operating in invisible places. Timelessness is the only way to precisely set heavenly intersections in motion. You assumed I wasn't there since you didn't hear me, but my techniques were misinterpreted by you. I did move, even if I didn't say anything. The quiet of paradise might occasionally bring about the most significant changes in your life. While seeds do not yell as they develop, their roots silently split the earth. Although mountains don't reveal their formation, they gradually rise until they reach a towering height. In you, I was doing that. In order to prevent any voice, not even yours, from interfering with what I was building, I had to shroud it in silence. My quiet was a precious cover. My silence served as a heavenly shield. I wasn't trying to punish you. I was protecting you. Answers too trivial for your calling were what I was protecting you from. I was postponing smaller wins in order to produce something durable. Don't mistake silence for stagnation, my darling. I never remained motionless. I was calculated. Let me explain the situation. You believed nothing was going on, but I was preparing talks, changing alliances, and disclosing motivations while speaking to hearts on your behalf. When you were about to knock on doors that appeared to offer opportunity but concealed destruction, I was keeping you safe. Timeliness was what I was doing. I was taking away options that you were unaware would stop your momentum. In ways that noise could not, I was building your spiritual muscles, softening your heart, and honing your judgment. I was responding to your prayers in ways you couldn't describe. I was encoding answers into your DNA, which is why I refrained from speaking aloud. It was more than simply words. I was changing, and I'm talking again now that the stillness has accomplished its goal. And this time, my words won't seem like a suggestion. It'll sound like tenderness wrapped around thunder. Don't be angry with the silence then, kid. You won't be afraid of being abandoned the next time silence descends, so honor it. Preparedness will be obvious to you. The silence in heaven will signal the imminence of a heavenly storm, a flurry of alignment, anointing, and answers. My voice has stopped being a trickle. The instrument is a trumpet, and you, my darling, are in the path of a breakthrough that was quietly conceived. You weren't going to die in silence. It served as the incubator for what I'm now prepared to share. Now raise your gaze. The quiet is fading. My voice sounds like floodwaters pouring in, and every void is about to be filled with purpose. How long have you been saying, God, just tell me the truth? While standing at the window of heaven and pushing your heart on the glass of unfulfilled prayers, my darling, you didn't ask out of conceit. You didn't try to dictate the plot. During a time when confusion engulfed your spirit like an impenetrable fog, you were desperate for clarity. You didn't require praise. You required a foundation. Comfort was not your goal. You were demanding confirmation. And I, the voice that pierces chaos, the source of all truth, heard every word. Your cry was not ignored by me. I put it away. I burned it and waited for the precise moment when your spirit could bear the weight of what would have otherwise destroyed you. And now, kid, the time has arrived. The truth you pleaded for is finally coming to light. Not in whispers or riddles, but in lucidity that is kinder than a bomb and sharper than a sword. What you're going to get won't only provide an explanation for the past, it will be reframed. The wounds caused by what happened and what you believed it signified will be healed by what I am about to disclose. I am aware of how the story was skewed by the quiet. I am aware of how much time you have spent struggling with shadows and reliving unresolved moments. You pondered why, with your heart open, doors slammed, why promises caused people to vanish, why despite your best efforts to comply, the ground shook beneath your feet. The question of why it occurred changed somewhere along the line. Is there something wrong with me? Now, however, listen to me as angels lean in to listen, as heaven serves as my witness. You were never flawed in any way. You weren't excessive, it wasn't too late for you. You weren't irreparably damaged. To make it appear as though your identity was the problem, the enemy altered the timeline. But I'm using my voice to right that untruth today. Failure did not cause you to be delayed. I was keeping your calling pure, which is why you were delayed. To prevent anyone from mislabeling what I was sculpting, I kept you secret. Because rejection diverted you from relationships that would have distorted your mission, I permitted it. Because I was protecting you from flimsy affirmations that would have undermined your roots, I permitted silence. The truth is now available, unvarnished and genuine, and prepared to rebuild what your confusion attempted to destroy. I want to be clear. You can't use intelligence to analyze this truth. It's the type that gives you new life. It won't only end arguments in your head. Your spirit will reach new heights as a result. I'm not only telling you what occurred, I'll tell you why you remain here. You ought to have fallen apart. You ought to have given up. But you were silently carried by grace. The truth will now thunder launch you. Actually, you've always been mine, kid. I never once looked away from you. Your questions didn't make me cringe at all. Despite all of the accusations you made while crying, I still love you, and I'm responding now. It's because the time has arrived, not because you've earned it at last. You were never punished by having the truth kept from you. It was kept safe to keep you safe. It's time now. See what I do with the questions that nearly caused you to lose it. I'll compose wisdom based on every why. Every misunderstanding will be converted into confirmation by me, and I will leave a mark on your life that is so clear that my voice will dispel whatever lies you have ever held. Don't fight me now. Lean in, kid. This fact carries a sacred weight, yet it won't break you. As I reveal what I have been constructing in you all along, people who formerly misunderstood your quiet and gave up will have to stand in wonder. It will crown you. They noticed a lag. Divine design was visible to me. You'll see it now as well, because my honesty accomplishes more than merely informing. It changes. Let me share a secret with you, my love. One that will explain seasons that appeared silent, years that were spent, and prayers that seemed unheard. I waited, not because I changed my mind, nor because I forgot. You were so important to me that I waited. I waited for the distractions' layers to start coming off. I waited for the echoes of unreal expectations to subside sufficiently so that I could whisper to you once more. I waited because it takes more than just desire to do what I've been keeping for you. It requires depth. I wasn't using posture to punish you. I was preparing to protect you. And he was the purest form of love, even if it didn't feel like it at the time. The kind that states, I will not give you what you're praying for until you're strong enough to carry it without it crushing you. A youngster should not be given a sword until they have mastered its use. And what I am now giving to you is heavy, not in a burdensome way, but in a glorious way. It will shatter chains, change environments, and open doors, not just for you, but through you. And I waited for that reason. I observed your reaction to the delay. I saw how you worshipped despite feeling abandoned. I saw how you maintained your loyalty in places when you were ignored, how you continued to build without anyone noticing, how you put honor before retaliation, humility in place of performance. Yes, I saw all the trembling, all unseen sacrifices. Each seed was sown in what appeared to be too dry soil to produce flowers. To heaven I exclaimed, now they are ready. I wasn't waiting for things to change, you see. I waited for you to see yourself as I have always seen you, capable, called, chosen, and dedicated. Child, do you get it? Because the version of you that existed at the time would have misunderstood the blessing. I was unable to release this earlier. You would have assumed that man was the source. You would have acknowledged the strategy, the relationship, and the platform. Not just now, though you'll realize it was me all along when I release it. You'll be able to see that the next step isn't earned. It has been entrusted. You will not be an addict, but an ambassador. You will manage it more like a river than a reservoir. You'll understand that this is more than just a moment of getting something. The goal is for you to become someone who has the ability to keep fire blazing without going out, someone who can take charge without having to perform, someone who can remain anonymous without being depressed. I've been putting on weight for that reason, and I can see it now, kid. You're prepared. Therefore, don't say you're sorry for the timing. Unshrink as soon as possible. It's not late. There is no delay in this. This is timed perfectly. Heaven never misses a meeting. For this release, I have planned every moment, timed every move, and matched every mood. Furthermore, you don't need to push it. You don't need to make it up. Nothing needs to be moved by your manipulation. Simply be there. Simply maintain an optimistic outlook and an open heart. You will be found by what is coming. Your name is already on it. It's more than just a door opening either. A scroll is unfolding. My writing is prepared for reading out loud, and you are a living example of what occurs when someone remains devoted in the face of uncertainty, child. You are evidence that the promise is not diminished by waiting. It strengthens the ship. I now release what was waiting for you because you waited with me. Allow me to talk directly to the part of you that has privately questioned whether you were responsible for the mayhem, my darling. If you missed me, it would explain the unsolved questions, the changing seasons, and the internal turmoil. This needs to be resolved once and for all. You never caused the confusion you experienced. You did not disobey. You weren't aloof. You were not deaf spiritually. The mist wasn't a penalty. It was a section. Failure was not demonstrated by the pressure. It served as evidence of formation. A divine recalibration has been in effect for you. What appeared to be misdirection was actually my hand, precisely and purposefully rerouting you. You shouted out, "God, why does this make no sense?" Even though your mind was unable to understand it, I heard you too. Not only did I hear you, but I was also present during the long nights when reason failed and your spirit muttered, "Did I do something wrong?" as well as during the perplexity and questions. With all due weight, let me reiterate this. There was nothing wrong with you. You were traversing areas of combat that were entirely related to your role within me and had nothing to do with how well you performed. Your progress wasn't being attacked by the opponent. He was playing with your senses because he could fool you into losing what was forming if he could convince you that the fog represented failure. However, you did not forfeit. You remained. You continued to wave. With gritted teeth and shaky hope, you prayed. You worshipped without knowing. And heaven would always answer with thunder whenever you raised your voice, even if it seemed to reverberate into thin air. You weren't circling around. You were traversing levels. Each stride was forward, even when it appeared as though the road would fold in on itself. This is what I want you to know. Disconnection was not demonstrated by the confusion. It was a cocoon. And the wings are forming now, kid. It will become clear. The curtain is coming down. What used to be cloudy will turn crystalline. I'm revealing what was always mine to reveal, not because you found it out. You survived the storm, even if you didn't cause it. I'm currently covering your eyes with a new lens. There will be assertiveness where there was once fog. There will be heavenly comprehension where there was once distortion. And you won't see confusion when you look back. There will be building. I was helping you develop a discernment that came from more than just clarity. In order to teach your soul to hear my voice, rather than just the voice of opinion, passion, or even your own reasoning, I allowed the stillness to persist. Your inner ear has been sharpened by me. You will now be able to distinguish between knowing and noise. You will enter spaces where others perceive fog. You'll also notice strategy. You'll be able to move confidently in situations that would have otherwise caused you to unravel because what once perplexed you has now become a compass. Breathe then, my kid. Even the humiliation you were unaware you held is being healed by me. The sort of feeling that results from years of doubting your spiritual awareness. You weren't lost. You were gaining knowledge. There was no punishment for you. They were positioning you. Now I'll utilize the same confusion that plagued you as a springboard to the clarity that others are clamoring for. Your suffering was foretold. You asked holy questions. You were eternally resilient. You've shown that you loved me for more than just the answers. You stayed in the dark because you loved me. And it's uncommon to find that type of love, kid. Love like that is sacred. Because of this, what I'm going to spill over your life won't come in pieces. It will arrive in torrents. Prepare yourselves then. The fog is dissipating. The reason it had to fall in the first place will become clear to you. Now that you have enough heart to absorb it, my child, allow me to share with you a reality that will restore timelines you believed were spent. There was always a purpose behind the delays. You've experienced periods of time that seemed like inexplicable pauses. There were times when everything appeared perfect and slowed down, but your needs became more pressing and your hopes waned. And in the midst of those protracted quiets, the idea infiltrated like a whisper dressed in anxiety. I might have missed it. Perhaps I was waiting too long. Perhaps I missed the promise. But listen to me now with a compassion that thunders. I haven't written anything for your life that has expired. Not a single syllable has shriveled. Not a single pledge has faltered. I am the God who operates in perfect location rather than in a panic. Furthermore, the delays weren't the result of divine neglect. They were intricately divine. In my hands, a child's delay is never denied. The choreography is beautiful. a calculated slowness to avoid spiritual breakdown and early exposure. To torture you, I didn't postpone the blessing. In order to save your spirit from being crushed by the weight of the glory, I delayed the release. I wasn't keeping an eye on the time. I observed your capacity. I promised you that I would punish you. I withheld it in order for it to bless and support you when it finally arrived. I called it depth, and you called it delay. I referred to what you called a locked door as a customized entry that was still being built. I remembered. I was strengthening. You had no idea that the spots I was placing pillars beneath would hold nations, souls, and legacies. I untangled your destiny from the things that might have ruined it, which is what you believe to be a diversion. I'll show you the design. Do you recall the job you were given? The romance that abruptly ended? The opportunity that abruptly vanished? I call it heavenly rerouting, and you call it disappointment. I was directing you toward the rock-solid foundations of eternal impact, away from rash platforms constructed on sand. I destroyed alignments that were promising on the surface but had ulterior motives that would have tainted your vocation's integrity. You succeeded. I protected you. Yes, it did take longer than you had anticipated. However, I didn't check your timeline. I was working from the table of eternity. It wasn't me forgetting you that caused the delay. I was the one who formed you. Because if I had given it to the earlier iteration of you, you wouldn't have withstood the weight I'm about to put in your hands. And the design is nearly finished now, dear. They're weaving the last stitches. Scaffolding is being taken down. Soon, the grandeur of what I have been secretly constructing will be unveiled. You won't declare, "I made this happen." When it does, your response will be, "Oh God." It had to be postponed because of this, in order to prevent credit theft, so that the origin could not be questioned. The next chapter won't be created by humans. It will have a miracle mark on it. Additionally, everything that seemed suppressed will be unrestrainedly discharged. You waited. You wondered if you had, but now you shall see, and every second will be worthwhile. Allow me to share a revelation with you, my dear child, one that will change the way you perceive each moment that has led up to this one. Yes, heaven has paused for your sake. This was not a casual message from me. This fact wasn't a footnote dropped into your life. No, in order to deliver this decree to you, I have halted the flow of other decrees, stopped heavenly assignments, and restrained the cherubim's booming wings. It's more than just a message. Here is a moment, a divine meeting point, where the personal and the eternal meet. I want you to understand the importance of your story to me. I want you to realize the significance of this exact moment in time. Faith is not what you are. You don't play a supporting role in someone else's story. A heavenly revealing that could not begin until your spirit opened to welcome it has you as its divine focal point. Do you sense it? Now, the silence that envelops you is not silent. The weight is sacred. It's the silence that descends upon the royal room upon hearing your name. When the Father stands and orders all creation to watch as you enter completion, it's the silent awe that reverberates through the halls of heaven. Don't downplay this. Don't try to justify it. The shaking in your chest, the tears building behind your eyes, and the urgency in your heart are not just feelings. That is proof. Proof that everything heaven has been holding is now pressing against your timeline like a flood against a dam. Proof that the curtain is drawing down and the timing has finally aligned. And child, the dam is bursting with divine accuracy, not mayhem or chaos, but joy. All of my promises, every word, every whisper, and every hopeful sigh are going to come to pass. Not someday. Not slowly. When I said that heaven stood still, I meant I intended to bring all of eternity to attention for the revealing of this chapter. Because the gift you are about to receive will not only change your life, it will impact generations. I have waited to offer this word until its weight would crown you rather than shatter you. There was no hesitation in heaven's calm. It was a mark of honor. While you leaned in close enough to hear the truth that I never stopped writing your story, I was standing there watching, waiting. I only put the revelation on hold to give your spirit time to strengthen itself for what lies ahead. If you only knew, my child, how many things were rearranged for this meeting, for this whisper wrapped in awe. Everything was in sync. The voices, the atmosphere, the timing, even the ground beneath you. What do you do in such a moment? You receive it, not with mistrust, not with striving, not with resignation, but with trust. You let the silence of heaven act like a hammer, shattering every lie that said you had been forgotten. You let the angel's quiet become the meaningful sound that echoes in your spirit. You're not running late. You are right on time. In the center of God's timing, you are not forgotten in heaven. It has been waiting for your arrival. The unveiling is about to begin, but it is moving forward with sacred pause. They are releasing what has been held, and in the breakthrough, what was once spoken in silence will now be shouted. Because this moment is not just about what you're receiving, it's about what heaven will see you carry next. Now pay close attention, child, for everything that has ever attempted to break you will be reframed by this next truth. That weight, that strain, that unrelenting battle that seemed tailored to your weakness, it was not evidence of your failure, it was evidence of your favor. Empty vessels are not fought over in hell. Wasted potential is not surrounded by demonic resistance. The darkness that surrounded your life wasn't random, it was a reaction. Hell's reaction to what I placed inside you. Why is this happening to me? You cried. Over you, I was declaring. For you have been marked for something greater than you can yet understand. The enemy foresaw your future. He anticipated your alignment. The rustle of the scrolls I have written about your life reached his ears. The sound of heaven approaching you was familiar to him, and he panicked. That's why the battles became more intense. That's why the war felt so personal, because what was being released through you threatened what had been hidden around you. People did not attack you for who you were, but for who you were becoming. The attacks did not mean I had abandoned you. They indicated that what I was birthing in you could not be stopped by assistance. And though the battles bruised you, child, they revealed something stronger, your resilience. You kept showing up even when you felt weak. You stayed when it would have been easier to walk away. You held both promise and pain in your hands. You smiled while bleeding. You served while hurting. You loved while doubting if love would return, and I saw it all. Every single moment was recorded. Not one sigh of surrender was missed. The enemy wanted you to believe you had been abandoned in battle, but now I will show you. It was confirmation. Your fire did not prove your failure. It proved your fire resistance. I let you walk through what would have destroyed others to show that what I placed inside you was unburnable. It was pure. You don't just carry potential, you carry power. What once caused you to question your value will now serve as proof of your anointing. You did not survive by chance. You survived because your purpose demanded it. I'm sending you back to places where people still hurt. That's why you're still alive. Your scars will speak for you. You'll become a paradox, marked by battle, yet moving in miracles, wounded yet wise, bruised yet burning. You are not a weakling. You are a weapon. Every demon that tried to destroy you will now watch your rise, forged through private battles they never believed you'd win. Hear me now. It was not a pointless war. There was a witness. I am turning you from a target into a testimony. My glory will be revealed through you on the very platforms that once tried to silence you. The struggle didn't end because I removed it. It transformed into proof. Now I will repay every pain. As I lift you into places you never imagined, what once tried to kill you will bow before you. This is not merely your turn, it is my promise, and I will fulfill it. Come close, my little one, closer still. I'm not announcing this publicly. This is personal. This is private honor for private obedience. Few knew you were even being tested, yet you passed. While others chased public applause, I watched your quiet choices. I saw the trembling hands making holy decisions when no spotlight shone. You had every chance to give up, to compromise, but you stood, you stayed, you surrendered. That is sacred. As you chose obedience over appearance, faith over fear, and truth over convenience, heaven stood in reverent silence. Even though people did not applaud, I did. I saw when you refused to harden your heart, when you served faithfully though underappreciated, when you poured out love even when others grew cold. You poured not from duty, but from devotion. While the world measured performance, I measured purity. While others measured results, I measured resilience. You didn't just survive the test, you passed with honor. In the fire, you stayed soft. Even when despair tried to pry your fingers from mine, you held on. You didn't win because you were stronger. You won because you stayed obedient. And that is what I reward. That is what I crown. You faced it honestly. You didn't manipulate outcomes. You waited for me. You released instead of retaliating. These were not small choices. Eternity is shaped by such tests. Now the reward will match the price. I will bless you beyond what others think you endured because I know the cost, the weight, the tears, the heartbreak behind your quiet smile. I saw how many times you cried. I believed in you when your world was falling apart. Well done, my beloved. This moment, this shift, is not sudden. It is a response. A divine response to what I witnessed when no one else saw. A response to holy decisions made in secret. Listen, child. Heaven always rewards secret faithfulness. This season is not luck or coincidence, nor karma, it is covenant. And I do not break covenant. Prepare for recognition without applause, promotion without striving, and honor without competition. I am elevating you because you endured without asking. The test was real. The price was heavy. The reward is beautiful. And it begins now. Take a breath, my dear. Relax your shoulders. Release the weight pressing down on your soul. You didn't imagine the pain. You didn't exaggerate the silence. The war was real, but you made it. You walked through the fire, not as an illusion, but as my living, breathing child being refined in real time. I know how often you doubted yourself, replaying moments, asking, was it really that bad? Was I too sensitive? Did I misunderstand? No, you were not overreacting. You were under attack, not emotionally, but spiritually. The confusion, the loneliness, the betrayal, it was tactical, layered, and precise. Hell doesn't play fair, and it doesn't play soft. You were targeted because you are loved. You were hunted because you are holy. The trauma was real. The isolation was real. The fog, the numbness, the exhaustion, all of it was combat. But you endured. You may have crawled, doubted, or fallen, but you did not quit, and that matters to me. Those who survive what should have destroyed them carry something sacred. I hold dear those who emerge from storms, not resentful but refined. open to new wisdom and healing. That's what I see in you now. You didn't just survive, you emerged anointed. You carry the oil of the overcomer. The fire didn't consume you, it commissioned you. The enemy's goal was to silence your testimony, to make you doubt your own perception. But that ends now. You are not crazy. You were chosen, and every part of your story now stands as evidence of my strength in you. Stop doubting your survival. Stop trying to make your warfare logical to people who have never lived through it. Your story is holy, not messy. It is miraculous, not excessive. You didn't imagine it. You overcame it. Now I anoint you with discernment to separate delusion from intercession, trauma from truth, sanctification from survival. You don't need to explain. Just stand. Just shine. Just speak. When you stop hiding your scars, they will heal others. I am redeeming every hour of pain, restoring every faded color, every silenced voice, every missing joy. The nightmare is over. The story is not done. I am still writing. Yes, you imagined it. Yes, you felt it. Yes, you survived it, and now you are unstoppable in my sight. I have long waited to say this to you, my child. Something sacred and significant. Only I saw it. Only I comprehended it. I saw what they couldn't see. I caught what you tried to hide. I witnessed what even you barely understood. In the darkest hours, I saw your soul, not just your deeds, but your pain, your surrender, your strength. Others saw the version that smiled and served. I saw your unseen faith. I saw you praying when heaven felt locked, serving when the silence was heavy, and still, you did not stop. You persisted. You continued to arrive. You continued to clutch. And that touched me more than any public statement ever could, child. I want you to know, your adoration didn't seem like a battle to me. The nights when you broke down in the dark were invisible to me, sobbing, "Lord, if you don't carry me, I won't make it to morning." You spoke to me in your automobile, clenching your teeth and whispering, "Just one more day," but they didn't hear. "Give me strength for another day, God." They didn't see what I saw, the tempest within you, the pain, the bewilderment, the pressure, the constant pressure to act like someone you're not. Every broken hallelujah was visible to me. I never once criticized you for your struggles, even though I carried all of your burdens. You could have left, so I respected it. You had the option to harden. You may have given in to resentment. Instead, you leaned forward, your hands shaking and your knees bruised. "Even if I don't feel him, I'll still follow him," you added. That type of faith, that type of ferocious, brittle obedience is holy, sacred, and unforgettable. They interpret your immobility and quietness incorrectly. For lack of calling, they must put an end to your silence. However, I saw the reality. When I wasn't being noisy, I observed you learning to listen. I see you prioritizing purity above fame. Because you prioritize presence over performance, I observed you turning down platforms. And child, those unspoken decisions have created a foundation that will withstand any storm. I have planted a root system of righteousness in you in remembrance of your invisible sacrifices. In public, others could bloom for a season, but your growth is meant to persist for decades. I built what they couldn't see. I crowned what they were unable to celebrate. And now, as I start to show you in unexpected ways, they will be forced to acknowledge that God has always had a hand on you. Listen to me. Then you don't have to give an explanation. You don't have to explain your path or defend your timeline. I was present. What no one else saw, I saw. Every unseen yes, every unseen struggle, and every unseen act of obedience will earn you rewards from me. I've been meticulously crafting your story for eternity. Furthermore, promotion won't be necessary for what comes after. You will need to be present. You, kid, bear the weight of my presence because I saw what no one else did. It was not necessary for them to see, since pure things are frequently concealed until they are ready to be poured. They weren't supposed to, and you're all set now. The curtain is coming down, and I will give you the glory they were unable to. I just told you something that many people have been waiting their whole lives to hear. I now extend an invitation to you to assist me in spreading this message. Child, when you obey, there are souls waiting on the other side. You're not just donating when you weave this message into it, whether it's through a subscription, a heartfelt thank you, or the offer in the video description. You're spreading the truth like wildfire around the world. According to Isaiah 55:11, you are the answer. My word will do what I sent it to do, but it won't return void. I knew that what I'm creating here would weigh heavily on your heart, which is why I picked you to be a part of that ripple. The time has come to plant seeds. I just gave you a call. Don't wait for someone else to answer. I'll multiply your kindness. I'll keep your stash safe. Your obedience will earn you my favor. Donate today to assist me in telling everyone everything. Now, dearest, come. If this message touched your heart, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with others and subscribe for more divine words from God. Amen.